So today we're going to show you how to fix a flat tire. You'll need 4 things to do this job: an air pump, a spare tube, tire tools, and a shop towel for cleaning up after the job. The first step is to remove the wheel, and we've got another video you can watch on that. Make sure all the air is out of the tube, then take 2 tire tools and insert them a couple of inches apart under the edge or lip of the tire called the bead. Push them down together and a little bit of the tire will come off. At this point you can slide the second tire tool around the entire circumference of the wheel and it will disengage the bead from the rim. Now you've got half the tire off. To get the second side of the tire off, you'll have to put the wheel on the ground. This step is a 3-part move. Pull up on the tire, pull it over the side of the rim, and push down. The tire should pop right off. Pull the tube out of the tire, toss it aside, and we'll go on to inspecting the tire. You want to be sure that whatever caused the flat is no longer in the tire. The outside of the tire can be inspected visually while we simultaneously feel the inside. You can feel small, sharp objects in the tire better than you can see them. Although you'll rarely be cut, a light touch is recommended. In this case, we can both see and feel the staple that caused our flat. However, you won't always find what caused your flat. I'll pull this out and we'll go on to the next step. Now put a little bit of air in the tube. Note that the thumb lock on the pump is pulled up in order to make a good seal. A little air in the tube gives it some shape and makes it easier to handle. Now put the tube in the tire. Locate the valve stem at the tire's label. This gives you a reference point for matching the hole in the tube with the hole in the tire, so if you flat again, you can inspect the tire for damage at that point. Now it's time to reinstall the tire. Start by inserting the valve stem in the rim. Be sure it's perpendicular to the rim and not cocked sideways at an angle. First, install the back bead by simply feeding it on with your hands a little bit at a time. This part's easy until you get toward the end. The last few inches get harder. Just use your thumbs and push a small part of the bead on at a time. The tire will pop right on at the end. Continue with the second or top bead. Just like on the first bead, feed a little bit of tire on at a time with your thumbs. You want to avoid using tire tools to reinstall the tire if you can. It's too easy to puncture your new tube using them. You'll see that the farther you go, the harder it gets to put the tire on. As it gets harder, work with smaller and smaller sections of the tire. Make sure as you go that the tube stays up inside the tire, that it doesn't get between the bead and the rim. At this point, let the air out of the tube that we began with. Also try using different parts of your hand to roll the bead over the edge of the rim. Now we're really getting to the tough part. But again, just work with tiny amounts of the tire at a time. All of a sudden the tire will pop on at the last moment and you're home free. Now we come to the final phase of our flat tire repair, which is inflating the tire. Get a good grip on your pump so as not to damage the valve stem while pumping. Inflate the tire to be somewhat firm. Remove the pump with a quick pop so you don't damage the valve stem again. Before inflating to full pressure, examine the bead. You want to be sure the tire isn't going to come off the rim before fully inflating. An easy way to check the bead is to spin the wheel at eye level. The line you see should appear even all the way around. If it's too high, you'll have to deflate the tire, reposition the bead, and reinflate. If it's too low, it may adjust itself when fully inflated. When the bead looks good, reinstall your wheel and pat yourself on the back. You did